On this upload, I'm gonna show you the #1 tip and trick to help you get the most out of every gallon of gas that you purchase in 2022. With gas $4.19 a gallon, maximizing our fuel efficiency of our gas-powered vehicle is key. So let's dive into this week's upload. So here's the thing. Every single internal combustion car needs an air filter, okay? Well, what is an air filter? Where is the air filter at? How do we get to it? I'm gonna show you how to do that real quick using a 2005 B6 S4. Now you're probably saying, like, Jack, how is doing it on this compared to anything else? Well, here's the deal. The principles about where a filter is, what the filter does, and how to get to it are pretty much all the same. Just each vehicle has things in a little bit different places. The first thing we gotta do is we gotta get into the car. We gotta locate the hood latch. Well, in this case, this car's got the hood latch right here. Some cars will put the hood latch cable on that side of the car. Those are, the ones that do that are really more like exotic oddball things. So some of the signs of maybe needing a new air filter or that you should check it is poor engine performance, sluggishness. The car don't feel like it's got the same type of pep in its step. You're seeing more spent at the pump outside of the fact that gas is like $4.19 a gallon right now. An excessive amount of spending at the pump, I guess. Those are all things. You can also get check engine lights, and in some cases, you'll get things like this. You might get random multiple misfires, some cylinder 8, cylinder 6, all sorts of weird things. Ignore this performance malfunction coolant system. That, my friends, is 100% a reason why you should subscribe to the channel, because I know something like 70% of you out there who are doing DIYs and searching for stuff like this are going to need content for stuff like this. This is the 034 B6 transmission mount that we will be putting in. This is a thermostat for a B6, a snub mount that we're recycling for a B6, and a brand new water pump for a B6. And all of those are reasons why, if you have a B6 S4 or want to know more, consider subscribing. We also do race car stuff. Back to it. Air filters are a very simple thing. All they're there to do is collect all the crap. Kind of like an N75 mask. The air filter's there just to like collect all the crap that's floating around in the air, just like when we had to wear masks during COVID. Same type of stuff, a little bit different, but similar. Once you get the hood open, where's the air filter? Usually you're gonna have some sort of intake tube that's gonna come off of your intake manifold. If you're turbocharged, you're still gonna have some sort of intake on there. Pop a picture up here of like a B5 S4 and you got a Y pipe in there and stuff like that, right? Some cars the air filter might not be easy to find because it's gonna be buried in plastic, like the B6 here. All right, now to get this out, it's not difficult. All you're gonna need to check your air filter, a screwdriver and a flathead. Occasionally you might need a Torx screwdriver, which is something like this right here, which you can get it at a local Harbor Freight. Everything you would need to do this job, you're not even gonna spend $20 on. To get this out, guys, it's really easy. Just pop this side out here and you're gonna walk that side out. Now, this car is missing the 2 screws that hold it in. There's a screw there and a screw there. If your car has those screws, you're gonna need a Phillips screwdriver to get them out. Just walk them right out. Easy peasy. All right, so set this bit off to the side here. So this is the air filter box. So this is the air box, guys. Some air boxes have screws in them, like this one does. Some have tabs in them. Some have slide clips on them. You just gotta look at each one and determine which one is for you. In the case of a B6 S4, we have 2 screws here, one here, one here. We take those 2 screws out. We need to pull this SAI line off. This is, and just set it out of the way there. And then we gotta take this hose clamp off right here and disconnect the MAF sensor. You're gonna also wanna disconnect this fuel line. It just pops right up off of there. There's a coolant line that runs through here, and you're just gonna wanna pop it up out of the little retaining clip that holds it right there. Be careful with that one. You don't wanna jerk on it because you could crack this upper radiator hose, which I just now realized I should probably get one of these for this car. This one has been slightly modified. All right, well, we'll get one of those coming. So now that we know what we need to do, let's get this thing off and figure out how nasty it is, because I'm pretty sure it's like, eh. So some cars have what's called a MAF sensor, and that's this thing right here. The MAF sensor basically measures the amount of air that comes into your car so that the car can do a calculation and then tell it how much fuel and do all these things, right? So when you put your foot down, it goes extra fast. Well, I pulled this cover off, and these MAFs have these little diffuser screens in them. That screen basically makes the air more even. That's the easiest way to explain it. And I can already see that there's a lot of dirt and debris in there, which makes sense because that right there, see that gap? Yeah, that gap is crap. Luckily, particles are being stopped by the screen, but I guarantee you there's crap that's getting sucked up in there that's smaller than the screen, and it's going down into the engine. Is it gonna harm it? Probably not. Like 90% sure that it's not gonna harm it. Anything that's in there small enough and soft enough, the engine's gonna eat it up. But it's getting into the engine, and the air filter is supposed to stop it, and it's not. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Let's see how dirty this thing is. Oh, ooh, ugh. Yo, that's awful, man. Be honest, this is kind of what I expected to see in here, but not this bad. We're gonna have to get this cleaned out. I didn't think about getting an air filter until I started shooting this video, and I was like, oh, yeah, we could do that. And then I'm like, yeah, that's disgusting. All right, guys, so here's the cool part about this, though. This is a K&N air filter. So with any K&N product, you guys, you can clean them. Do not throw one of these away if you see it. If you pull a filter looking like this out of your car, it's a K&N or it's a cotton filter element. Cotton filter elements are made by all sorts of different companies. AEM makes one, Engine makes their own, K&N makes them. There's probably half a dozen or more other companies out there that I'm forgetting, but these are reusable. It's like washing your t-shirt. If you find one of these in a car that you say you bought used, don't throw it away. You can clean these out. It's a very simple process. Right now, I don't have the time to do it. So there's a kit that you can buy from K&N and a bunch of other different companies that you can use to clean your K&N air filter. There's some other ways that you could clean these if you get out on the internet, using degreaser and transmission fluid and spraying them. Since this is a K&N, I think we're gonna use a K&N treatment. But for now, I'm just gonna knock all this crap out of here, blow this thing out with an air gun. It takes like 3 to 4 hours to actually clean it. You gotta like degrease it and wash it and then like set it, let it dry, and you gotta do, it's a process. It's a process. So let's get this thing cleaned out and get it back in. Now that you've got your air filter cleaned, knocked out, recycled, or you got a brand new one, depending on, you know, how baller you are and whatnot. So now you got to reinstall the air filter, which is pretty straightforward. Drop that bad boy in just like that, down in there. Now I bent this one a little bit just to try to get it to seal up over here. And I think it's going to work out well. Something like that. I think it's going to work just fine. So now that you got your new air filter in, now you just got to put everything back together here, guys. And these B6s are a little temperamental because they've got these locking tabs and they got to go straight down into these notches down here. And they're like impossible to line up. There we go. Turned me into a liar. Looks like I lucked out on this one. Push that in there. So since this car didn't have screws in it, I went ahead, found 2 screws that we can put in it. You don't have to over tighten these things. They're just here to kind of guide it, keep it in place. You're done. There you go. You're completely installed. New air filters in. And guys, you just saved probably $200 to $300 versus going to a repair shop and having somebody else look at this for you and tell you what's going on with it. Air filters are very, very simple on a car, and they are probably one of the most overlooked, misdiagnosed problems on a car. There's more times than not that I know people out in the community that would have sold you a complete tune-up because you had a dirty air filter. That's not to say that you didn't need it, because if you had a filter that was that bad, yeah, the car was probably neglected and the car needs everything else. That's not always the case, guys. So I've got a whole series, guys, coming up, things you should know and how to maintain your car in a time where gas is expensive and you need to maximize economy and economics of things instead of let's go fast. So if you're into stuff like that, you're into making race cars even faster and burning shredding tires and just guzzling gas down, consider subscribing to the channel. That's all the time I got for this one. I hope you enjoyed this fuel efficiency tip. All right, well, if you found value in this video and you're able to change the air filter in your B6 S4 or any vehicle that you had along the way, and you're able to save a few extra pennies at the pump and on your pocketbook from not having to get service done by somebody else, hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel. All we do every day is figure out ways to save thousands of dollars working on our own shit boxes, building race cars. The engine is now there, it was over there, but remembering that no matter how big the job is or how small the job is, we can do it. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Peace. I'm Audi.